Hey everyone, welcome to Pickleball and Beyond. My name's Ryan.
My name is Vino.
And welcome to Pickleball Paddle Myths 2, Paddles versus Lead. So a big thank you to Hudef for making this video possible, hooking us up with all of these paddles. We greatly appreciate it. Couldn't be done without you guys. Make sure to stick around till the very end of this video where there might be some surprises such as, spoiler alert, we might be shooting a paddle, who knows? And there's also giveaways included as well, so make sure to watch the entire video.
So, the myth is, what happens when we put weights in different locations?
It doesn't make a difference.
Or does it? The 4 different configurations.
Yes.
Nothing, just the way it is.
Yep.
We get our 3 o'clock and our 9 o'clock weights. We get the one popular right at the neck.
Yep.
And then finally, right on the top. So all of these, we kind of use 3-gram weights. We're doubling it. We're getting 6 grams here, 3 and 3, and 3 and 3, right? So that's the configuration. Let's dive straight into how we felt these paddles were. Why don't we start off with how you felt these paddles played? What was the difference? Start off with like the regular and like go from there.
Yeah, so again, this is going to matter a lot on what paddle you're modifying, right? So with the regular paddle right out of the box, I think the Viva Pro Gen 3 is perfectly balanced, right? So I love the way this plays out of the box, and my highlights of this paddle were that I thought it offered the most like control from what I was accustomed to, but it certainly had the least amount of pop and power compared to the rest of these. But I think as far as the balance goes, this was fantastic out of the box.
And I think that's something to think about. As soon as you start playing around with weights, you are changing the balance of the paddle. Because naturally some paddles come, you head heavy, head light, well balanced. So, you know, when you are changing weights or adding weights or removing weights, remember you're changing that. That also goes to grips as well, right? Because even if you don't think about it, when you add an extra grip, you're adding a little bit of weight to it. So that is something to think about.
The last thing I'll add is out of all 4 of these, this was definitely the easiest to play with for long sessions, right? Little less weight, it actually made a very big difference. So let's go on to the 3 and 9 o'clock configuration. This was tied for my favorite overall playability with the unmodified actually, because again, I think some people say this increases the sweet spot. Maybe it did just barely, but for me, it kept again, I think this is perfectly balanced, and it kept that balance, right? Because you're adding weight to the sides, and it gave you just a little extra power.
So just a quick note, you know, we try to write this whole experiment down on a white paper. We'll link a PDF. So all of you guys that want to go into more details and numbers, go down. We have shared it with you, read it. That'll kind of give you a good idea about the whole thing. Continuing with like the side weight, right? I think, like you said, it's only adding some weight, but keeping that balance. So you feel comfortable as far as that balance goes.
Since it started well balanced, it kept it.
Exactly. And
it just adds more weight, which means you're going to get more power, right? Force equals mass times acceleration.
And if you think about twist weight, right? Twist weight is basically, you know, how much energy is needed to twist that paddle. So when you're adding mass on both sides, that's weighing it down. So it's less resistant to that twist, increasing the twist weight. Hence, you feel, hey, you have better sweet spot. So like you said, that just gave you that extra to what was already a well-balanced paddle. Now let's go to those extremes, right? Let's start with this. Right?
The head heavy.
The head heavy. And if you kind of saw the video, and like we'll get like our friends to share their thoughts as well, why don't we hear some of what they had to say?
So we were here on the courts playing with some of our friends, trying out these 4 different configurations. We're going to start out with Juste, and the questions we're going to be answering is which one was your favorite and why? And kind of, you know, compare it to the other paddles as well in terms of that power and control differences you felt, because we hit some serves and we also hit some resets and some playtime.
Okay. My least favorite paddle was the bottom lead. And that's because whenever I was dinking, I felt like it was a little awkward. I couldn't get the ball to go exactly where I wanted it to do, especially for resets. That was the worst for resets to me. Followed by that one was the second worst for resets. That one is just the power, the top. And I felt like both the side to side, the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, are and the
the
regular
regular.
paddle I felt like they're very similar. This one just gives a little more power to the overall play.
But the balance felt overall the same.
The balance felt the same as actually
As
with
the
no
regular.
weight at all to me. And the resets were really good on this one. The power, the swing, everything was nice.
So which was your favorite then?
So my favorite was actually this one.
Awesome.
The one in my hand. I had to yank it out of Vino's hand, you know?
Awesome. Thank you. And then we'll pass it over to Matt here. So same questions.
Yeah, so my overall favorite paddle was probably the side weight with a very close second, no weights at all. And I'm used to using a Hudef paddle Gen 2 with no weights at all.
Of the Viva Pro Gen 2.
Viva
correct?
Pro
Yes.
Gen 2, that's correct. My favorite for resets was actually the bottom weight. And I think that's because I do an underhand reset and it felt like I could control the ball with a tossing motion. And then when it came to the serve, I'm not a huge power server, but I felt I had a lot of power with the top weight. Just having a little bit of that wrist lag and kind of plow through with the weight on the bottom of the paddle. So overall, probably the side weight with a close second this, but I do like the serves and the drops with these two.
Awesome. Thanks for your perspective.
I think they did a good job talking about some of this. But I want you to talk a little bit more on the head heavy, because when we saw those numbers, this was one that had this mass differential as far as power goes, especially serving and stuff like that. So why don't you talk a little bit on that, right?
Yeah. So what's so fun, right? It's so fun to test this in different setups, and I think what it boils down to is to the type of player you are. And with more weight on the top of your paddle, again, makes it head heavy. And when you're doing a full-on swing, building up your power as you're making your rotation and following through, you're building up more momentum with that weight on the end of it. And it just makes your drives come off more powerful. Same thing with serve. So I think if you're a banger, you prefer these head-heavy paddles, or we sometimes know tennis people are more comfortable with this because they're used to these full swings, big drives. If that's what you're looking for, that's super helpful, but there's trade-offs. So if you're at the net, this is very slow in your hands. In a hands battle, this is not the best option for you. But again, it's a trade-off of pros and cons, and it goes back to your personal play style.
And I really like it because when we were testing, Stephanie jumped in and tried, and we had our friend from Chip Shots, you know, they're always very kind with us with facility. He's one of the owners. He jumped in and tried. And they were the outliers because, yes, Juice, myself, you, like our speed increased, but for them it dropped. Why? Because they were not used to that balance of the weight. That weight transfer almost, you know, it had the opposite effect because it did not feel comfortable, so it dropped. So just as much as, yes, it is changing, it's giving you a little bit more power, doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone. You get what I mean? So that's just the key. Let's jump onto that last paddle, which was,
Yes, so out of all of these, this is probably my least favorite configuration for this specific paddle, because at least with the top, I was like, that's my favorite for drives. For myself, this kind of threw off the sweet spot, made it really slow in my hands. I was getting a little more power with this, I believe, than like the regular configuration, just because it had more weight, but it slowed me down, and again, it just...
It felt
did
clunky,
not, it did not
right?
fit
It
right.
felt off. And just think about the physics of it, right? When you have a well-balanced paddle, you are usually looking at the sweet spot from the center to the top. Now we have moved the mass down, right? So the sweet spot is lower. The head is like a fishtail right now, right? So it's not giving you the best like configuration when you hit at the center.
And I think in particular, it really shined on this paddle because it's an elongated paddle, right?
Yes.
That came already balanced. So adding that weight at the bottom, I think is about the worst choice. The sides is great, or the top is good if you really want to play to the shape of the paddle even more. But for this paddle, I would not recommend adding it there.
And it was funny, like when Matt was talking, he talked about how his resets felt.
He liked hitting his drops with it. On
Exactly,
the bottom.
and I think that goes back to, you know, your playing style, the way he holds the paddle, the way he like scoops it up. If you think about it, if you hit in this area, it feels nice because it's extended here.
Yeah, because I think that's where he's hitting the ball there more.
Exactly. So, in summary, yes, changing the weights in different areas is going to make your paddle feel and play differently.
Drastically different.
Yes, but I think what you should think about is caution yourself because you are changing how the paddle is configured. Work with someone. You don't want to hurt yourself. I'll tell you, I mean, I love hitting the ball hard. I love serving hard. But would I actually take and play with this paddle, Ryan? No, because when you come up and play, this feels heavier, right? You're going to hurt your arm. You're going to have tennis elbow. These are the things that you got to be careful about. So yes, you know, I think there is a, you know, a value to adding different places. But take it slow. If you want to try out step by step.
Yep.
Work with someone, like someone that knows about paddles, coaches, teachers. I'm sure they'll kind of help you,
Yep.
but I wouldn't jump into this.
Yep.
Concluding, what do you think about the myth? Why don't we hear our friends talk about it?
So overall, we were testing this myth. What were our thoughts on this, guys?
Overall, the myth was not busted.
Hey everyone, welcome to Pickleball and Beyond. My name is Ryan.
My name is Vino.
And welcome to Pickleball Paddle Myths Unwrapped, Part 2.
Shoot! Let's jump into the second section, Ryan. What did we do for this one?
So, paddle versus lead, right? Gotta pull out the big guns.
Yes.
So, we had so much fun and it was an honor to finally see some pickleball paddles get shot by bullets. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know how much fun it was for you. I was freezing, by the way. It was
really
really cold.
It was a very cold day for
But
us.
it was hot and it was fun just doing the video. So let's just talk about it, right? We have a couple of paddles here. We'll get some, close-ups as well. We did start off with a foam paddle just to be on the safe side, and we shot at it.
Yep.
And no question, I don't know much about guns or bullets and stuff like that, but what was used was a 22.
This is a 22, yeah. So like really small bullet. I mean, straight through. We tried giving the amazing Hudef case. Even that couldn't quite hold up. It went straight through both sides. Then he also had an M1 Grand and an AR-15. I think you know what happened.
So I'm going to get you to watch like some of the clips. It was not the easiest to shoot any of these videos because they were flying as far as the speed of the camera goes. Ooh, through. It went through. I don't think we need to go any gauge further, guys.
Wow.
Wait.
Wait.
Yeah, through.
Yeah.
Right through. No questions. You're a good shot. That was right at the center. Ooh. Oh, it's gone right through.
Yeah,
Okay.
went through both.
Yeah, went through both.
Yeah.
Well,
Paddles are weak.
yeah. Okay. So, do you think carbon fiber will be any different? There you go.
There's no hope.
Foam with carbon fiber.
Got better odds.
Yeah, it gets pretty nice days when you get that wind and it just wrecks it.
There you go. Okay. So that's carbon fiber surface with foam coat. All through. Right through.
Oh, look at the how
Yeah,
that
yeah,
looks.
yeah, yeah, yes.
That's actually kind of fun.
Okay. Do we want to hit a bigger gauge on this before we go to the next one, or just go to the next one?
We can do it bigger.
Yeah, let's do a bigger gauge on this. Let's just see how.
Yeah.
Oh, let's fly now. Let's just.
You want the big one?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. I don't think there's any hope for that stuff.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So that's the M1 Grand right there, right? Oh, jeez. Oh, that's sweet.
Okay. This one makes a little bit more noise.
Okay.
You'll see it more of it.
A bit more.
A bit more? Yeah.
Dan, I love your enthusiasm on that one.
I've been feeling the paddle.
Wait, I don't. Oh yes. Here you go.
Oh, there, yeah.
There you go. Okay, I mean, it's not stopping it. So let's answer that big question, right? Is Kevlar going to stop it? No.
So this is back to the smaller.
Yeah, this is back to the small one, 22. Can you back up, both of you guys? Similar kind of damage.
Nothing?
Yeah, I mean, it's gone through the.
Let's find out.
And the answer is no. But I mean, it's nice to see the difference. See, it's just going out and just breaking, whereas like the carbon fiber is just breaking the whole thing out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that makes sense.
okay, so Kevlar versus the big guy. You have no hope, but just stay there. So what is this one? AR?
This is an AR-15.
Feel free to, I mean, we're just destroying this thing at this point, so do it if you want to take a couple
yes,
whacks at it.
yes.
If you want to take a few passes at it,
Go for it. Yeah. Oh, almost. Oh, I think you caught the. Yes, you caught the bottom of.
Hey, get it?
I can tell. The edge is really hardy.
What is it?
Yeah, you caught the edge. What did it catch? Oh yes, nice. Got it. Yes. 3 shots. Okay, there you go.
Rachel?
So that's 223 air. You know,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
This isn't much more than
Yeah,
that 22.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty small.
There you go.
Did not stop.
No, did not stop a bullet. Myth busted.
Myth busted. There you go.
But I mean, I think what did surprise me was like, when our friend was shooting at it, it chipped some of the sides, right?
Yep.
But the binding still held.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go back to our original Mythbuster video,
Yep.
right, we kind of used the same paddle and smashed it in every
Yeah,
direction.
on the edge guard
And the
especially.
edge guard stood.
Yep.
So I think, yes, unfortunately, you guys had asked, would Kevlar stop? Kevlar is not stopping any bullets.
No.
Way through.
Do not surround yourself. You can't bring these out in the woods.
If someone's shooting at you, don't take your Kevlar paddle to protect yourself. Then nothing's going to happen.
It's a good idea.
It's a good thought process, and we try to help you, break that myth. So definitely myth busted, I would
Yes.
say. But I was very impressed with how the binding stood. What was also interesting was to see the difference between the Kevlar and the carbon fiber. Kevlar, it just went through.
Yes.
With carbon fiber, yes, it went through, but it kind of broke that fiber.
Yeah, it was splitting the fibers
Yes.
apart
Yeah,
versus
so-
a clean straight through.
And we did it on a honeycomb surface as well as their foam core. And you could see, hey, that surface is so different, right? Like the carbon fiber, it just went through.
Yeah.
And it kind of broke that surface.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Kevlar, it was through and through. So, I mean, does that actually make a difference on how it plays? The plushness of the paddle. I think that was what was interesting. Any thoughts on that? Or, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting. It's really cool just to see the carbon fiber getting the layers on it.
yeah.
Again, we're obviously not paddle manufacturers, but it seems like it'd be a lot more difficult to make these carbon fiber paddles. I don't know, it's so interesting to me, but yeah, even in the Kevlar, right, you can see it's just tiny little specks that come out versus this is just this stringy layering going on with the carbon fiber. But again, how that plays, I mean, there's been lots of different paddles out there now with the two, but I mean, they both work excellent on the courts. Off the courts with bullets, not so much.
Yeah, so definitely myth busted. Again, I think what we have enjoyed is, highlighting some of these lesser known brands. Get what I mean? I think Hudef is a great value brand.
Yep.
All their paddles with codes run less than $110, $115, and you get a quality paddle. So please check them out. Again, a big thank you. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, please write to us. We love hearing from you. put your comments as to what you want to see in the 3rd episode.
Yep.
Hey, which means it's giveaway time, isn't it, Ryan?
Absolutely.
So again, thank you to Hudef. They are actually going to give another Viva Gen 3. What do they need to do to get one of these paddles in their hand?
So all you have to do, again, be an active subscriber to the channel, drop a like on the video, and leave a fun comment, right? Something about how terrified we were of the AR-15. We were just like, this is out of our realm. We're just gonna watch this happen, set the camera up. Thank goodness I didn't hold it in front of me to try to stop it. But again, just leave a fun comment and you could win a Viva Pro Gen 3 that does not have bullet holes in it.